Welcome to the Tennis Warehouse Racket review of the Head Gravity MP XL 2025. Exclusive to Tennis Warehouse, the 2025 version of the Gravity MP XL not only features a shiny new paint job, but has been updated with Auxetic 2.0, which is a uniquely flexible material in the yoke and the handle to optimize the racket's feel and response. This racket features an extended 27.5-inch length, 100 square inch head size, 16 by 20 string pattern, a 22 millimeter straight beam, a uniquely flexible 58 stiffness rating, and the swing weight coming in at an average of 330 strung. This racket supplies a nice blend of control, a forgiving sweet spot, and a plush feel on contact that the Gravity line is known for, with that little extra boost from the extended length. I'm a real big fan of extended length rackets. I play with a 27.5-inch Yonex E-Zone 98 Plus. And this one right here is just another really good racket in the mix. I tested the previous version and I think this one is just as good, maybe even just a little bit better in terms of the feel. Obviously, first thing looking at it, the shiny glossy paint is really, really nice on this racket. I think it's a great touch. But in terms of feel, it's still comfortable, still flexible, still maintains great stability for being that low of a flex rating. And I thought in terms of response and feel for the ball, maybe a little crisper, even though it's still a really soft racket. 100 square inch head size gives you a really big sweet spot. So at the baseline, very forgiving. And then I also noticed the 100 square inch round shape of the head really helped me on my spin serves, especially the kick serve for that spin window. Super comfortable. I could take the ball on the rise, up at net. It felt plush. Anytime the ball came at me hard, I still felt it was very comfortable. If I had to knock it, I usually play with a 98, so I do like those smaller head sizes for a little bit more pinpoint precision. But as far as forgiveness, comfort, feel, the looks, this racket is just a really sweet frame.
I always appreciate being named to these play tests, and I gotta say, I absolutely love this update to the Head 2025 Gravity MP XL. I really enjoyed the last version. If you're familiar and you like playing with that one, this is gonna be an exceptionally easy transition. And over the years, I've really kind of gained an appreciation for extended length frames, and this has allowed me to kind of really decipher, determine what I like out of a frame. So with this Gravity MP XL, I really feel like I'm sourcing power from the length and the weight, which is a great benefit to me. And it also has a softer beam trait and that 1620 pattern, so I'm getting a high degree of comfort and better dwell time, as opposed to say a more modern, stiffer frame where the dwell time is very minimal, so I've got less purchase or decision-making time to decide what I'm gonna do with the ball. So overall, from the backcourt, it's very easy to get through contact, even if the shots were heavy, and get this racket around my body. And on serve, although it was a little hard to snap my wrist with the extended length, it did kind of help my serve out wide on the deuce side, and for a lefty, that's not the easiest shot to hit. So just overall, top spin when I needed arc over the net, easy to achieve, and the 1620 string spacing kept my backhand slice low. This is definitely a racket I would consider switching to.
I was a huge fan of the first iteration of the Gravity MP XL. You hardly ever see extended length frames available from Head, so I was really curious to see how this update felt compared to the previous iteration. And for me personally, I felt like this one was a little bit softer, a little bit more maneuverable, but that actually worked really well for most of my shots. I loved this thing on ground strokes, particularly in my two-hander. Just felt really confident in going after the ball and slapping shots either up the line or cross court. Just really fun to drill backhands with. The racket was a little bit punishing if I was late on my forehand side. I noticed that I had to really be intentional with my timing, and if I missed late or was not quite to the ball when I wanted to be, the racket was not gonna do me any favors in that particular area. That said, I really enjoyed the spin window on this frame. That sort of teardrop shape that you're getting from the Gravity is really good for rolling across the ball and shaping balls down into the court with spin, so really fun for that particular shot. Really like this thing up at net. Typically extended length frames at net are a little bit more sluggish, and while that was the case with the Gravity MP XL, I did think that the feel went a long way to counteract that sluggishness, and so I felt like I could place volleys on a dime. It was a really satisfying racket to serve and volley with in particular, and I really liked this racket on serve. I actually would have maybe appreciated a little bit more crispness on serve. It was a little bit more muted up there. Again, the elongated spin window is super good for brushing over the ball, shaping kick serves, that kind of thing. So just a really high performing racket on serve as well. On return, I did struggle a little bit, felt like the racket was a little bit late to the ball, so it made for a somewhat tricky time getting the ball into play, but if I shortened up my swing, made it a little bit more compact and powered through my shot, had more success that way. But overall, I do think the update to this frame is really solid, just slightly better feel, kind of like Troy said. And overall, if you're a fan of an extended length frame and also like something with a constant taper beam, you don't see a lot of those two specs paired together often. So super unique racket and definitely a good update to the Gravity MPXL.
I was a big fan of the previous version of this racket, and that love affair continued on to this new one. The update here, I really found beautiful sound at impact, nice crisp pop when I hit the ball, so on a long fast swing, really getting a nice crack out of this racket at impact. Very pleasing sensation when I was hitting my ground strokes and serves. Good access to spin, you got that extra leverage from the length to really help you whip that tip through, get the ball rotating very quickly. Probably my favorite shot from the baseline was my backhand slice. Could really knife it with this ball. This racket's got tons of feel, just loaded with that plush, silky smooth response. So I felt like I could put my backhand slice either down the line, cross court, or drop it short and put it on a dime. Really had a lot of fun with that shot. I do like to string this one a little bit lower, so on serve I just was lacking a bit of pace, so I would drop it down. We string this one up at 52 pounds. I'm playing better at it with 48 pounds with a co-poly at the test tension. Just looking for a little bit extra pop on my serves, getting good spin, getting good placement, but you know, it's not quite getting the ball through the court like I would want to. So lower tension dials that in for me. Up at net, tons of feel of control. I love the added length. It helps me get those low pickup volleys. I don't have to bend down as low to get them. I can kind of be lazy and really just redirect the ball, get it exactly where I want to place my volley. So super fun play test for me. We tested this racket with a variety of strings, but today we got it strung up with head links in the champagne colorway at 52 pounds. For more information on this racket or anything tennis related, be sure to go to Tennis Warehouse, Tennis Warehouse Europe, or Tennis Only.